Good morning, class 12. Welcome to the second session of the chapter Surface Chemistry. And I hope you all have seen the first session of the chapter, that is the introductory session, where I taught you about the term adsorption with various examples and how does it differ from the term absorption. So both have a very minute difference in spelling, but otherwise the two are totally different phenomena. One is, that is, absorption is a bulk phenomena and adsorption is a surface phenomena. And since we are studying the chapter surface chemistry, so we will be moving ahead with this phenomena only, that is adsorption. And I hope the topics that were covered up in the last video is clear to you. So now proceeding to some more terms related to adsorption. Before I proceed further, again making you revise these two terms, the meaning of these two terms. What is adsorbent? Adsorbent is the surface over which the process of adsorption occurs. And adsorbate is what? Adsorbate are the molecules or the substance which get adsorbed over adsorbent. Suppose you have a surface like this, okay, and over it are the molecules attached. So what is this? This corresponds to adsorbent. This is adsorbent, that is this term, and these molecules which are attached over the surface corresponds to adsorbate. So I hope the two terms are clear to you because it will be used frequently in this chapter. So please be clear with these two terms. Now coming to another important term, sorption. So sorption is what? It is a phenomena where you see absorption and adsorption both occurring together. Okay, example, dyeing of cloths. So you must have seen a dyed cloth. What happens in the process of dyeing? In the process of dyeing, the adsorbate does not only settle itself on the surface but also it settles in the bulk. So adsorption is basically the combination of both, and the example of it is dyeing of cloth. This is just an example. You can think of many such examples. So when both the phenomena occurs together, that is known as sorption. Now what is desorption? Desorption means the reverse of adsorption, that is the removal of adsorbed molecule from the surface. Now a very simple example I am taking, like when the teacher enters to the classroom, what happens? You people all get desorbed from your chair or your bench to wish the teacher. So what happens? You are behaving as adsorbate and the surface of the bench is behaving as adsorbent. So you get desorbed when the teacher comes, and once you have wished the teacher, you again settle down on your bench, again adsorption occurs. So I hope it is clear. So removal of adsorbed molecule from the surface is called desorption, that is reverse of adsorption is desorbed. Once you get up from the bench or the chair, it is desorption, and when you sit on the table or chair or the bench, it is adsorption. That is again a surface phenomena. You don't penetrate yourself into the bench, you simply rest yourself on the surface of the bench or the chair. So I hope desorption is also clear. It is just the reverse of adsorption. Now what is heat of adsorption? Heat of adsorption, as I told you, that adsorption is an exothermic process. Okay, because this leads to this occurs due to attractive interactions, and attractive interactions are always exothermic in nature. That is, their delta H value is negative. You must have learnt it in class 11 in chapter thermodynamics, that for exothermic process delta H value is negative, and for endothermic process delta H value is positive. So it is the amount of heat evolved when 1 mole of an adsorbate is adsorbed on the surface of an adsorbent. Okay, so heat of adsorption is what? It is amount of heat evolved when 1 mole of adsorption occurs. Okay, on the basis of types of interaction between adsorbent and adsorbate. Adsorption is of two types. physisorption and chemisorption. Very important terms for your board. You get the difference between physisorption and chemisorption most of the times in your board examination. Now let us see what is the difference between the two. As you can see here, the name physisorption itself suggests that it is a sort of physical change, and chemisorption is a chemical change. So I hope you remember the difference, the basic difference between physical and the chemical change. Physical change is reversible and chemical change is irreversible. Okay. Now let us move on to the first difference. The molecules are attracted to the surface by van der Waals forces, which are weak forces. Van der Waals forces are what? They are weak forces. And in chemisorption, the molecules are held to the surface by chemical bonds, which are very strong bonds. Okay, so first difference is this. Children, mark this important. The difference between these two are very important because you get this in your board. So the molecules are attracted by van der Waals forces, and in this case the chemical bonding occurs. Actual bonding occurs. And it is relatively weak bond. You all know this, van der Waals forces are very weak in nature and it is relatively strong. Heat of adsorption is low. That is, the value of delta H is not very high. The amount of heat evolved is not very high. Delta H is negative but very low. The value is very low. And in this case, heat of adsorption is high. That is, the heat evolved is, the range of heat evolved is quite high. It is a reversible process because weak van der Waals forces are involved here, and it is irreversible because the actual bonding is taking place. It involves formation of multi-layer of adsorbed particles. That means if adsorption occurs on a surface like this, you will find that one layer is formed, over it another layer can be formed, over it another layer can be formed. Like this, multi-layer formation can occur because these are associated with the help of weak van der Waals forces. Whereas in this case, only one layer, monolayer formation occurs because these are chemical bonding which is specific in nature. Okay, specific means only particular particular reactants will react with each other. It is not like any reactant can react with each other. The reactivity differs. So the next point says the same thing. It is not specific in nature, it is specific in nature. That means physical adsorption, that is physisorption, can occur over any surface. Okay, simple settling of any adsorbate over the adsorbent. But this is specific in nature. It is specific in nature. It cannot occur on any surface. For example, the dews, the fog settling on glass is one example of physisorption. The dews settling on the leaf surface is another example of physisorption. That means you can see the same adsorbate is getting adsorbed on different surfaces. Whereas if I talk about chemisorption, where chemical bonding is taking place, so a particular chemical compound will react with only specific chemical compound. It's not like any compound can react with each other. Okay, they are specific in nature. All the reactions are not possible and are not spontaneous. It occurs appreciably at low temperature because these are held together by weak van der Waals forces. Okay, now if you increase the temperature, what will happen? The forces will weaken, will get more weak, and the process will reverse, and it occurs at all the temperature, but the extent of adsorption increases with rise in temperature. Now for this you need to recall a concept of kinetics. You learnt in the chapter chemical kinetics, where you learnt about the factor affecting the rate of reaction. So temperature was one of the factor. You learned that when temperature increases, what happens? The rate of reaction increases. So similarly here also chemical bonding is taking place. So when chemical bond or chemical reaction is occurring, obviously with increase in temperature, what happens? The rate of reaction will increase. You can recall here the Arrhenius concept, the Arrhenius equation, which related the rate constant or rate of reaction with the temperature. So example is mentioned here, adsorption of various gases on charcoal, okay, which is not specific in nature. Now this is also an important question for your board. The question is asked like this, please note it down, that the miners wear charcoal mask. Okay, what is the reason? Why do they wear this? Because when they go for mining, various poisonous gases are there in the where the mining occurs. There are various harmful gases which are evolved. So their mask comprises of charcoal, and charcoal is a very good adsorbent. It adsorbs those harmful gases and protect those miners from various abnormalities, or which can cause any disease to them or any disorder to them. So this charcoal helps in adsorption of the harmful gases. And here you can see that it occurs at all temperature, but the extent of this point is clear. Now the example of it is oxygen on silver, gold, platinum. So oxygen is again a molecule, okay, and these are the metal surfaces. This you can study as catalyst. This I'll be taking up further in the chapter. And hydrogen on nickel, this you must have learnt in the reaction hydrogenation, where nickel is used as a catalyst and hydrogen is adsorbed over the nickel surface, and the product formed is saturated fat. If you remember this, I'll be taking up in this chapter later on in detail, where I'll talk about catalysis. So I hope the difference between the two is clear. Now here is a note, children. When atomic oxygen is adsorbed on graphite, this is again an example of chemisorption. When atomic oxygen is adsorbed on graphite surface, CO is formed, carbon monoxide is formed, and heating the surface after adsorption, CO is dissolved but not atomic oxygen. Why this happens? Now what happens, suppose this is graphite. Graphite is what? Graphite is carbon. Okay, and when oxygen is adsorbed over the surface of graphite, what happens? Oxygen reacts with the carbon present at the surface of the graphite and produces carbon monoxide. The product formed will be carbon monoxide. Now when you will heat it, okay, or if you will heat it or try to dissolve it, what will happen? The product that will move out will be carbon monoxide. For adsorption you took oxygen, but when you are desorbing it, carbon monoxide is dissolved, not oxygen, because the reaction has occurred. So this indicates chemisorption, where some new product is being formed, which is a chemical change. And again telling you, children, in this case also, where chemisorption says that with increase in temperature, what happens? The rate of adsorption increases. But again, there is a certain range up to which the rate of adsorption will increase, because again the surface availability is also a factor. Till the time surface is available, the rate will go on increasing, but once the surface is saturated with the adsorbate, when no more surface is available, the rate will start declining. Okay, so this much is over, children, the difference between the two, that is the difference between physisorption and chemisorption.